running for office, I can't be sure that that's a viable option. So I'm going to go and leave it at that.
Thank you very much. Do you have a follow-up? No?
Nope, Camille's turn.
Donna? Your fault.
All right, I'm going to exempt you from this, Viv, because we've all heard your solution, or at least your opinion. I want to hear from the new members. The biggest problem right now facing this city, not even a question, not arguable, is PERS and TERS. I want to know how, if you are running for mayor, this has got to be the main thing that you've thought about and come up with a solution for, and I'd like to hear it.
Start with Terry.
Boy, and you'd have to start with me. That is a tough question, and I appreciate, Donna, that that's a big issue.
The biggest.
The hugest. And you know, my understanding is that it's going to take work with the legislature.
Is that a word?
What?
Hugest?
Hugest, you know.
Just kidding, Terry.
What was it? What did the President would say? I'm the decider? I don't know. But it is a huge issue. And so I guess, you know, that I think is would be a big learning curve. But my understanding is it's working with the legislature and that they're on the track to get it under control. But we need to continue to work on it.
In other words, you don't have a solution.
No, do you?
Okay. Actually, yes.
Thank you very much. Now we go to Frank Terry.
You mean PERS and TERS?
That's about it.
Yeah, I would support what I call a conscious commission, a cross-section of people in the community to look into these matters. I don't understand them fully how we got there in the first place. If I had them to say so, I'd be calling for a grand jury investigation, an independent one.
Thank you, Frank. And we go to Joe Fields.
Yeah. How's that?
Yeah.
Better? Sorry.
Perfect.
This issue belongs to the state. I mean, it is something that they've created, and we've got to give it back to them, and they've got to pick it up from there.
I can't say that I totally disagree. Thank all of you very much.
Thank you. And we go to Tammy Wilson.
I thought I'd see what it's like over on this side. Before they went back to a vote on the property taxes, a head tax was discussed, and quite a few things that you've already discussed that we people in the borough come and use your services and we should pay for them. But I just want to remind you though, if you have an accident in my neighborhood, my North Star very nice volunteer firefighters will help you out, and I don't believe we charge you. If you drive on our road services, I don't think you, so I do think it goes both directions. But I'm mainly concerned is the taxes that have been discussed previously about taxing those that do not live in the city, who do not have representatives in the city, but yet to tax them. So the question is, do you think it's fair to do such a thing as the head tax, in which just because people happen to work in the city, or do you have other ideas that you would like to bring forward to make the borough residents pay for their city services that they may be using?
And we start with Frank Terry.
Are you talking about the new business tax that's been?
No, previously discussed, there was a head tax that was discussed where they were gonna charge people $10 to $20 a month just for working in the city, whether you made $500 or $5 million, it didn't matter, it was a set amount. Because the belief was that, well, it's not really was, we do drive on city streets. I try to go around them, but I don't. And right now I'm walking them, so I'm using them twice. But, you know, but is it fair that the borough residents are going to be taxed on something like a head tax and not having representation because of it? Because we can't vote for you guys.
Well, when it comes to taxes, once again, the annual market value is $35.8 billion on marijuana, racks ahead of corn and wheat crops combined. I think we have another revenue besides putting a head tax on anybody.
Well, I don't use that, so I guess okay.
Thank you, Frank. And we go to Joe.
Please repeat the question, just so I've got it clear.
Previously, before they went back and asked for the property taxes, they had started discussing other revenue. And one of them happened to be a head tax for any of those who worked within the city. They would pay a specific fee, and at that time, I believe it was like $10. Whether or not you made $500 a month or you made $50,000. My concern is, though, is that you're taxing those who cannot vote. Would you be in favor of something like that? Or is there a tax you think that the borough residents should pay for, you know, using city services?
I'm not sure about tax that they should pay for services, but I can't see how the mechanics of collecting a tax from people who live outside the city is going to work. Are you going to have toll booths that you pay this tax when you come in?
Well, the employees would have paid, the employers would have paid this particular tax.
The employers would have paid this on behalf.
They would have taken it out of the check and they would have given a check. That's what they said would happen.
I'm not in favor of that.
Thank you very much. And we go to Vivian Chambers.
Okay, Tammy, you know I was there for all of that.
I know you were.
All righty.
So was I.
Oh, I know it. What had happened then when we had all the revenue gone and we're trying to make up $10.3 million in our budget, we did look at a bunch of other taxes and we found them in other states that were in place. You know, I think we're going to be just fine. I think that the public's going to come on, see that we're making this, you know, we're going to do the 4.9. We've looked real closely at our government and we've involved them in the process. I think we'll be okay. If it doesn't go through and, you know, we go back, we got some, it's going to be a tough situation. We'll get through it because that's, you know, it's a lot to make up. But I think also if we're not willing and we don't come to this solution with the 4.9, we're going to have to be willing to go back and look at all those options again. Unless someone's got another magic way to provide and pay for these services, you know, you gotta, you know, we're still looking at our committees and we're looking really hard at them. And some of the preliminaries is that there are some spots that are operating really well and then we have some spots that, you know, could change a little. But we're not seeing huge things right now that you could just go in and cut away 10 million on the budget. But I believe that people are going to come through with what Jerry has proposed, a 4.9 mil cap, and we'll be just fine.
Thank you very much. Now we go to Terry.
Thanks. I didn't support the head tax for employees. One of the ideas that is very interesting to me and I think needs more looking into is a motor vehicle tax. And that would be a tax, they do that in Anchorage, and the state administers that tax, so it would be on your car, for example, your automobile. One of the things that folks say about tax is that it impacts people of lower incomes. Well, perhaps people of lower incomes don't have as many cars as we have at our house because we have 5 of them. So a motor vehicle tax would be a fair tax amongst every resident of the borough, and I'm certain there would be exemptions. But I think that that's a revenue source that needs to be looked at for not only the city of Fairbanks, but for the entire borough. And it's been successful in other communities, and I'm not a big one for recreating the wheel, so I think it's something that we need to look at because it's something that it's not going to cost a lot for us to administer because when you go to, I believe, renew your license plate, then you're charged that tax. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Can I do a quick follow-up with that?
Very brief.
So if you're talking about a vehicle tax, are you talking about that you would charge a vehicle tax to everyone in the borough that would go into the city coffers?
I don't know how it works, Tammy, to be perfectly honest. I couldn't give you like a total plan.
Can I help
But
though?
it seems to me to be an idea.
Yeah, no, I was just asking whether,
Yeah.
is that how you would see it? I know there would be a lot of things.
No,
that would be-
because I mean, it's certainly, all the money couldn't go into the city because, you know, you'd have to come up with some equitable plan. I mean, but certainly, in my opinion, the borough's budget is much more full of fat than the city's budget. So I mean, it's certainly that there's a big dichotomy, but it's something I think that is worth looking at, that shouldn't be poo-pooed as, oh no, it's a bad idea, because it works in other communities. And so, like I say, I think that we need to look at, we don't want to recreate something, but if there's a mechanism out there that works, and it's fair, and we can work out the kinks in it, it might be something that is a revenue source for the city that we could look at.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we've covered that pretty thoroughly. Thank you.
Sorry, Vivian, you already had your turn.
Okay, we're going to go to Guy Sally now.
Vehicle tax in the city, in the borough benefiting the city is a lot sexier subject than I was going to ask about.
It's an idea, Guy, it's a concept. It's a
Lousy-
vision.
it's a lousy-
Can I speak? Can I say something?
I've got, Merrick, I've got a different thing, but if we can get a couple shots on this, it'd be great. You know, 'cause